Backstage. You are tuned to the hottest station, ZiFM Stereo, when it is time for this show that delves into the stories behind the spotlight, exploring the journeys that inspire and captivate all of us. And today I have the distinct pleasure of hosting a guest whose path is as enlightening as it's inspiring, a beacon of beauty, intellect, and environmental advocacy. I kid you not, her crown is blinding me right now. And by the way, my name is Patience Musa. Joining us this evening is Pauline Marere. Pauline, welcome to ZFM Stereo.
Having me.
And so Pauline Marere is the newly crowned Miss Supranational Zimbabwe, who is poised to represent our nation on the global stage in Poland in June. And her illustrious journey in pageantry is adorned with titles such as Miss Pan African, that was in 2019, Miss Africa Continent 2018, each reflecting her dedication and grace. But beyond the sashes and the crowns, Pauline has harnessed a platform to champion environmental sustainability, and her initiatives range from educating young minds about climate change to hands-on efforts in tree planting, demonstrating commitment to nurturing both our planet and its people. So far, research 99%.
99.99.
99.9999. That's how we do it. And her recent accolade as a runner-up for Miss Environment in International 2023 in Mumbai, in India, has just taken her to higher levels where she's earned the title of Miss Ecosystem. And really, truly, this young lady stands as a testament to unwavering dedication to environmental causes. Pauline, how is life?
Life is all right. How is yours?
I thought you'd say life is good.
No, it's all right.
It's all right.
Yes.
So, winning Miss Supranational Zimbabwe is a huge achievement. Congratulations for that.
Thank
Looking back
you.
at your journey, what do you think was the defining moment that set you on this path?
Well, I believe winning Miss Supranational for this year is something that really made a huge difference in my entire modeling career. It's something that I never saw coming. Miss Supranational is one of the biggest 5 pageants worldwide, and Zimbabwe only started going to that particular pageant, I think, for the past 2 years. We haven't been able to go there for quite some time. So being able to be a representative for Zimbabwe in the particular pageant this year is really one of those moments in both my life and in my modeling career.
Now, pageantry, I need to correct you listening right now. Pageantry is not just about beauty and poise. It's also about intelligence. It's also about confidence and purpose. So, how has this journey shaped the person that you are today?
Well, I believe modeling is one of those things that made me to believe in myself. It's a platform that helped me to build my confidence. At this point in time, I can walk into a room with 1,000 people and walk confidently and deliver a message or a speech confidently, which is something that I couldn't really do before I started modeling. So it's something that really built my self-confidence and my self-esteem.
And when did it change? When did you feel like you're saying you were always shy? So what happened for you to say, you know what, I can do this? And what was the first pageant that you entered?
So it all started in 2009 when I was studying in South Africa. I was staying in a very small farm in South Africa, and I saw ShopRite was looking for brand ambassadors. Then I said to my mom, I want to try. I was scared to tell my dad because he's too strict about education. So I was like, is this guy going to agree? Then my mom was like, okay, we can plan everything together. We can help you. Then she told my dad, and then he said, it's fine. Then 2009, I competed in my first modeling pageant in South Africa, which was Miss ShopRite. I was the only foreigner in the pageant, and we were about 22. And surprisingly, I came second, which was first runner-up. And I was really surprised considering the fact that, South African girls, they are blessed with so much beauty, beautiful skin and everything. But I was very lucky to become a first runner up. And I went back home. I was like, Dad, not that I've won, can I continue? Just as I expected, he said, no, you can only continue with modeling when you are done with your
With
high school.
school.
Yeah, because I was around, I think I was in grade 9 and I still had up until grade 12. Then I stopped there and waited. I only continued again in my first year in university.
Now, you've won multiple titles. What do you think makes you stand out as a queen? You've said it yourself. You entered these pageants and you see all these beautiful girls. But what do you think you have that makes you stand out?
So people always ask me the same thing. Why do you always win in pageants? For me, it's simple. I believe it's grace. I'm one person who literally believes that God gifted me with a very special gift, and I have this special type of grace that makes me stand out. Sometimes when I'm in a competition, I'll be competing with people that has done bigger pageants than I have. I remember at Miss Africa, I was competing with people that had just came back from Miss Universe, and it's a platform that I've always wanted to be in, but I have this special grace that just makes me to be more confident, and I believe in myself. When I compete with you, no matter how tall you are, no matter how beautiful you are, no matter how slim you are, I never underestimate myself. I always tell myself that I'm going to give it my best shot, and I always put my best foot forward, and I always win.
Our time at exactly 16 minutes to the hour 8. You're listening to ZiFM Stereo. And you mentioned earlier on that the first pageant that you entered, you were so scared. You were the only foreigner in
Yes.
that pageant. And recently, South Africa had to go through the Chidima issue, and she ended up quitting SA and then representing Nigeria instead. Whilst you were participating in these pageants in South Africa, did you ever experience that as well?
Yes, because most of the parents were like, ShopRite is a South African brand and it is supposed to promote South African children. But then it's not something that I really allowed to get to me because I had reached a point where I told myself that I really want to do this. And because my mind was on it, I just had to close all my ears to all the negative energy because we had always experienced this side of racism. So it's something that I was keen, I used to. So I just had to tell myself that I'm gonna do this, and I just had to do it, and I did it. And since that time, it's like there was something that was born in me. Because even when I went to university in my first year, I competed for Miss Cape Peninsula University, where I did my first degree, and I also won in that particular year. But now at university, it was better because there were so many foreign nationals within the campus, so it got better with time. But yeah, I did experience that a lot.
So, having experienced that in South Africa, but then you've traveled quite a bit, participating in all these different pageants. Have you had to experience segregation in those spaces as well?
Yes, sometimes you go to countries where people are still living in the, I don't know if it's an era of racism or what, but there are still people that haven't really accepted us as black people. But I've always told myself that I have to offer love and positivity to them all the time so that at least they can also give that back to me. You tend to find that in some countries they still have that difficulty to accept black people, but you just need to show them love, and then as you go on you tend to get used to one another and they tend to also love you back.
If you have any questions at all, send them through to our WhatsApp 0772 In the studio with me is the newly crowned Miss Supranational Zimbabwe Pauline Marere, and we are talking about pageants and life, right?
Yes.
Life. Now, many people see the glitz and the glamour of pageants, but few understand the work that goes into it. Because we like to think, kuti, you know what, munhu ari kungofamba chete, munhu ari kungosekerera chete. What has been the most challenging part of your pageantry career?
The most difficult part is preparing for your pageant itself in terms of funding, sponsorship and everything. It's unfortunate that so many people really don't understand that pageants are really a good platform as far as raising awareness and being educated as an individual. So you walk into a company and then you tell them, I'm looking for sponsorship for maybe $5,000. They ask you, you want to spend $5,000 in modeling? How about you start a business with that amount of money? So that has been really one of the most challenging things that we do come across. But to the few that understand, I'm really grateful.
And yeah, you said preparation and stuff, and I was thinking, okay, getting funding, making sure that you have all the money that you require. Are there other requirements that are expected of you? Do you have to be a certain weight? Do you have to be a certain height?
So recently, the modeling industry is evolving. We've come to a point where they are now embracing women as they are. You don't have to have a particular body size. Like Miss Universe right now, you don't need to be slim. You don't need to be very tall. You can be any height. And you don't also necessarily need to have certain features like before. But one of the most important things, you need to work on your skin, you need to work on your teeth, you need to work on all those little details for you to be able to stand out among the other girls. But as far as your physical appearance is concerned, most pageants are now open to all types of women.
So what? So you can't have pimples, you can't have acne and all of that.
No, you need to literally invest in your skin like 100%.
So you need to be flawless.
Flawless.
So what happens the night before you get a huge sit? What do you do with that?
You just have to embrace it and have to find a way to work on it.
Embrace it. I love it.
You just need to embrace it just the way you are, but you need to be on your A game each time you are going for an international pageant.
Now, competing internationally, means representing not just yourself. You're representing the entire country. You're representing all of us.
Yes.
How do you prepare mentally for something like that? And mentally and emotionally, because these are such high stakes.
Yeah, so for me, what I normally do is a week before a pageant, I normally avoid people. I try to spend time on my own and just try to meditate and make sure I'm in the right state of mind. Because when you go for a pageant, you're going to meet people with different energy levels. Sometimes you meet someone who's very energetic, who can easily irritate you. So I always make sure that when I'm going for a pageant, I am strong. You need to be emotionally strong, because if you are not, it's very easy to end up in a fight with another beauty queen. And these days, a fight in a beauty pageant means you're going home, and that's a huge
You'll be
embarrassment
disqualified.
to your country. Yes. So I always try to make sure that I'm emotionally strong, and I have developed this thing of being able to tolerate people. I've learned to deal with people's different characters, so I'm able to relate with people, and I'm also able to learn a person at a personal level. If I notice that you are coming in so strong and I may not be able to handle you, I excuse you for the rest of the boot camp.
I like the way you
Yeah,
say
I
that.
excuse I excuse you so that we are both safe, because representing a whole country, like you said, is not easy. Imagine waking up the next morning and reading on the news that Zimbabwe has been disqualified from the competition, and you have a whole lot of people that have sponsored you, and you're coming home with nothing. So I always try to avoid people that have energies that might not suit mine.
And that also helps you cope. Being
Yes.
emotionally in a really good space helps you also cope with the amount of discrimination that you may
Yes.
have to face. Now, pageantry has given you a platform to advocate for environmental sustainability. How important is it for beauty queens to have a cause, and what drew you to this particular one?
So in most pageants, Beauty with a Purpose, or in Miss Supranational, they call it From the Grounds Up project. I believe it's a very important aspect because they always put a lot of marks to it. It gives us a platform to make a positive impact in the lives of those that are around us. And fortunately for this one, since it's not an environmental related pageant, it's more of a pageant that you need to have a project that helps you to make a positive impact. I have continued with a project that I started last year from Miss Universe Zimbabwe, which is called the Gratitude Cleft Movement, whereby I work hand in hand with the Global Cleft and Cranial Foundation and the Ministry of Health, and we provide free cleft surgeries to babies and adults around Zimbabwe. So I started this particular movement because growing up, I had two siblings that had clefts, and I experienced the challenges that people with clefts go through at first hand. So it's something that I started, and I'm really working towards it, and I hope to see it grow as time goes on. So that's the project that I'll be going with to the international pageant.
Now, pageantry in Zimbabwe, like you mentioned earlier on, faces unique challenges, lack of funding, sponsorship, and sometimes even recognition. What has been your experience with these obstacles, and how have you been navigating them?
So, luckily, if you are looking for funding, I've come to learn and to realize that you need to also have something to offer. So, I've managed to come up with ideas that can help me to penetrate companies, especially the corporate world, whereby I always look at what a particular company does, and then I find a way to fit myself in so that I can also be beneficial to the company. So it has to be a 50-50 win, whereby the company also needs to gain a return of investment through sponsoring me, and then I also need to offer something to them.
I really love your crown.
Thank
I
you.
can't keep my eyes off it. Like,
Thank
even when you're
you.
speaking, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, how would I look?
Thank you. Thank you very
Our time at
much.
exactly 6 minutes to the hour 8 here on my station, your station, ZiFM Stereo. In the studio with me is our very own beauty pageant queen, Pauline Marere, who's going to be representing us in Poland in June. So we really need to support. We just have a few minutes to go. Thank you very much to Nyasha Tota. Good to know that you are tuned in. What changes would you like to see in Zimbabwe pageantry to make it more competitive and supportive of its contestants, and also to encourage parents to also want their children to participate, because there has been a lot of talk about pageantry since I was knee high, and I don't with modeling. As a parent, you're like, you're lucky you started in SA. It's different there than it is here. But what are the changes that you like to see, and are any of these things within your power to change?
Well, I believe beauty queens in Zimbabwe need to lead by example, because if parents see us doing something positive, obviously they'll be motivated to have their children also join the modeling industry. So I believe whenever a person is crowned, they at least need to come up with a project or something that can inspire the little ones. And I believe as an individual, I'm also going to lead by example. I'm going to start my own project whereby the little ones can learn and see and get some positive impact from it. And we need to say goodbye to nudes, where beauty queens, they have nudes all over social media, or they have drama on social media. We need to be the queens that we are meant to be, queens that will lead by example and create a Zimbabwe that will be favorite to everyone, and even people that are outside of the country. I am very much inspired by beauty queens in South Africa. After an international pageant, if you look at the girls from Miss South Africa, 2-3 years down the line, they get married very nicely. I've never seen a Miss South Africa who get impregnated or who goes offline. Most of them, just after being crowned, they run their race, they do their projects, they get married like beautifully, and they start their own families. So I think we also need to join that trend as Zimbabwean ladies, or Zimbabwean beauty queens rather.
I see why you win these pageants, and I see how do you guys get it? Do you guys kind of hear it? I absolutely get it. You are so well spoken, and
Thank you.
even as I was working on this show, thinking of the questions, I was thinking, what's gonna happen with these questions? But yeah, well done, well
Thank
done.
you.
Got a message here from Sir Humphrey, listening in from Skies, and good evening, patients. How old is she, for interest's sake? Her voice sounds so young, but so mature, organized, and disciplined. Madam?
29.
29.
Yes. Very old.
No,
Very.
Chilena. So we were having a nice conversation, and 29 is what is old.
Yeah, they actually feel like I'm too old for modeling.
And how old would I be? We're like ancient.
I think you're like 31.
This child, so pretty and you and I are gonna be best friends. We're gonna
Thank
be best
you,
friends.
thank you.
Me 31, you.
Me 29.
Well, thank you so much, Pauline, for coming through. It has been absolutely a pleasure having you come through to the show and tell us more about the world of pageantry and what it is that you're doing out there. We wish you all the best. Before you go, for all those parents or maybe young ones that are listening that want to get into pageantry, your advice.
My advice is, as parents, we need to support our children. Had my mom and dad not believed me or motivated me back in 2009 to join my first pageant, I wouldn't be here today. Through modeling, I've traveled the world. I've met very important and influential people,
Including me.
including you, yes. So please do support your children. And I just want to thank my partners, the people that are making my journey possible, the Quick Rides Zimbabwe, as well as the Hearing Shows group of schools through the CEO. Those are the people that have believed in my vision, and I am doing everything that I'm meant to be doing through this journey because of them. So I'm really grateful.
Pauline, thank you very much again for coming through. All the best in Poland and everything else that you're going to do in the future. I know you are going to do great. And so we've come to an end of this show for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. It certainly has been lovely. We'll be finding out a lot more of what's going on within the arts industry next week, same time. And remember, success isn't just about the titles we earn, but the impact we make along the way. So keep chasing your dreams, whoever you are. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one we will be celebrating on this very show. Until next time, before you go.
Okay, my Instagram is Pauline_Marere, Facebook Pauline Deborah Marere, and yeah, I think that's why I have Instagram and Facebook.
Until next time, this is a Backstage with me, Patience Musa. Stay bold, stay brilliant, and as always, stay tuned to ZiFM Stereo. This is your evening, this is your day, this is your week. So you go ahead and you claim it, take it, own it.